meaning of life is numeric, and we are the keepers of the equation.
Ow!
Step right. What fine contraband might I supply you with this?
Don't make me call Mapother and Mudge over. They don't like no fighting for free.
My noggin sure is sore.
Every scientician yearns to visit the archive on Callisto. One day, it will process all.
Agent, oh, thank good odds and high probabilities you're back. There's been an incident. A rogue faction has taken over the monastery. My seer, Seer Wiley, is trapped up there with other hostages of the Order. To make matters worse, my access code's not working. Without it, I've no way of calling the lift. No, I've known Landon for years. You must be mistaken. If what you say is true, that is damning evidence indeed. But why would he do it? Align himself against the Order? Against a friend? That's a serious accusation. Why would I do such a thing? No, I can't discuss this right now. The monastery. The truth is, I held Wiley back. I kept him from advancing for my own selfish gains by spreading lies and false concern over his competence behind his back. But I needed him. I still need him. I'm not the savant he is, never have been. If he'd advanced beyond his current role, my deficiencies would have been made manifest to all. I'm sorry, but we really haven't the time to litigate this issue further. In case I didn't make it clear before, the monastery is currently in jeopardy. Peace talks? Yes, Ruth informed me, but how did you learn of them? No one outside a select circle are supposed to be aware they're happening. Representatives of Auntie's Choice in the Order are meeting to discuss an armistice and possible collaboration. It's an unprecedented opportunity to shorten this war. I know I mentioned it before, but compartmentalization is crucial to the success of most of the Order's operations. I wish I could offer more details than that. But I'm afraid I won't be accompanying you. I can't be sure my presence wouldn't alter the outcome of your efforts in prodigious and unforeseen ways. Once you reach the monastery, make your way to the observatory. If the conspirators are seeking the coordinates of the talks, no doubt their efforts will be concentrated there. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you.
My time is yours. You may... Yes. You may per...
My noggin sure is sore.
By calculating the position of every atom in the universe, we can predict the future, control reality, and ascend to a state...
believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Wish.
The grand plan is the predetermined order to the entire universe. We can predict it down to a day.
I assure you these traitors haven't factored us into their equations. Ready to be the hole in their math?
Are you sure that rope can support us?
I am 100% certain that its tensile strength is marginally greater than our combined weight. Probably.
Wait, look! Someone just came up via the lift. It must be unlocked.
We'd love to help, but not as much as we'd prefer to leave. Plan guide you.
Watch out for Wily. He's accounted for everything. He'll know you're coming.
simpletons within it claim that all things happen for a reason. But the wise among us know that nothing occurs without a catalyst. Today, we are that catalyst, setting into motion the future most aligned with the plan. Hold that belief in your minds. Let it strengthen your resolve.
That's all bluster. We're an unpredicted variable in his equations, and he knows it.
Now is the time for execution. Those outside the Order, and some simpletons within it, claim that all things happen for a reason. But the wise among us know that nothing occurs without a catalyst. Today, we are that catalyst, setting into motion the future most aligned with the plan. Hold that belief in your hearts. And do not hesitate. The time for ideation is concluded. Now is the time for execution. Those outside the Order, and some simpletons within it,
Void it all. I told him he wasn't going to make it. Is this why Wily Zilk spared him? Because the Hey, body's not even cold yet. Show a little respect. Roger always said he wanted his body donated to the Order if it'd help advance the plan. But I'm sure this wasn't what he had in mind.
That all things happen for a reason. But the wise among us know that nothing occurs without a catalyst. Today,
Indelibly eradicate algorithm.
Nice of Sir Wily to leave us this.
Combatant observed.
Sorry. Rejuvenation device.
That device may be the deciding factor in whether you live or die in the near future. Unless you can expedite hemostasis and proliferate new tissue and run within a fraction of a second.
No. But I have been told my pain tolerance exceeds normal thresholds.
Your mother must be so proud.
Investigating
hostile intentions. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Statistical improbabilities are unconcerning.
I have a fix on their weaknesses. Locking them down. Mitigating the threat. Combatant scan.
Taking cover!
My life will avenge my death.
I'm alive.
Those junction boxes look familiar. The N-ray scanner should show how they're wired.
Architect's perspiring brow, if you try to cite the fourth pillar to me one more time, scientific advancement should not come at the cost of the grace and dignity of innocent lives. That is all I am saying. Armed conflicts are not the inevitability you are making them out to be, Anya, but rather the result of a populace failing to adhere to scientism's stoic imperative.
Oh, and I suppose we're going to pretend the second pillar doesn't exist. I must have just imagined reading Alfred Long's 75 thesis on determinism then.
Anchorites. Be warned. Any conversation with these two may prove pedantic. Oh dear. Perhaps I should have explained what an anchorite is.
As your friend has correctly determined, we are anchorites, here by choice. This is where we conduct our divine calling, debating scientific precept and theory. Actually, an outside opinion might be useful at this juncture. Our current topic is whether war is ever justified. For the sake of time, please keep your answer brief.
But what if widespread suffering is already taking place?
Then its causes should be observed, quantified, and a non-violent solution found. You do not extinguish a fire with more flame.
Tell that to the Protectorate.
We're going in circles again. If only we had access to the materials we requested, perhaps we could settle this debate.
I need the book Only Real Numbers, The Casualties of Appeasement by Exemplar Kwong. Second edition, not the first. That's important.
And I require Archivist Mahler's dissertation on de-escalation theory. You should be able to locate both pieces of scholarship in the scriptorium. I'd also caution against borrowing additional titles. The scribes are absolute fusspots when their work goes missing.
Augustine? Sure. She's got a mind for provocative hypotheticals. Asked a lot more interesting questions than we normally get.
I will add it has been some time since we last saw her. Not since before the schism, in fact. Why do you ask?
Augustine was obsessed with the Rift. She wanted to know all the potential routes the Order might take to deal with it. We explained that the Rift is an aberration of the plan's natural order, corrupting time and space and creating uncertainty. Consequently, all efforts should be made to close it.
Apologies, but gossip doesn't fall under our purview. We've secluded ourselves here to avoid such distractions, so I would thank you to exclude us from any remote drama. I'm sure I have no notion of what you're referring to.
Good for him. About time someone put theory into application.
What my colleague means is Landon Wiley is among our most gifted and dedicated seers. Whatever actions he's taken must be in service of the plan. I do hope no one's been hurt, though. I see. That is distressing to hear. But as we in the Order like to say, the plan actuates by deliberate means. Let us hope this conflict resolves itself soon. Much appreciated. We'll present our final arguments once you've returned with the research.
Things happen for a reason. But the wise
Charismatic mathematician is not so dissimilar to us. He donned his jumpsuit one
Found another one.
legs at a time.
Damn it. I knew there'd be a high probability of fighting, but I didn't think.
Hey, none of that. Remember what Wiley told us.
Document every corpse you find so we have an accurate head count later?
Well, yes, that. But also not everyone will share our vision of the plan. We gave them the option to join us. And it's not our fault they chose wrong.
all solutions precede problems.
Assessing.
Terminating unproductive activity.
The charismatic mathematician predicted that in our prime, we might only be divided by ourselves. And lo, it came to pass.
Conclusive. Aborting search. Dwelling on the quotient of the moment is to risk missing the product of the next.
Time for a quick dip.
Have you acquired the scholarship we asked for? You're in luck. I just finished my third reread of it. Chapter 47 is a real treat. When we're finished speaking, I'll put it in the collection drawer. But do take care with it, especially around the bath. We lose more good books that way. Much appreciated. Have you acquired the scholarship we asked for?
Proceeding to attack. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Enemy moving into harm's way.
Check your scope for combatant analysis.
Look, I know this ain't gonna get to the abbot, but I have complaints that need registering anyhow. This monastery's too big for the staff we've got, and it sure seems like the scienticians and theorists here ain't fixated on keeping neat. I might just be a novice, but at 73 years of age, I've enough self-respect that I shouldn't be picking up another body's lavation towels. Still, ain't as bad as it was in Auntie's choice, but that don't mean it's good. I just ask you folks to remember that there's more of importance out here than just your numbers.
Mobilizing. It's the unknown variable.
Men of
That torpificator has released us.
Nowhere near as interesting as the taxidermied cross-sections displaying their internal organs I made when I was a child.
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia. This is Grand Plan Wireless.
Wait, isn't this where we came in? Did they make this place confusing on purpose?
Stand onto a test of order aptitude. And who do we blame when a student fails? Instructor, of course.
Well, this is quite modest. Very simple and austere. Can hardly guess who lives here.
The good abbot's intent on distracting himself from the misery of existence with worldly goods never works.
Whatever the cost, or humanity's... stamped onto a test of order aptitude. And whom do we blame when a student fails? Why, their instructor, of course. Bishop Bassar has failed this order as its preeminent luminary. And without our intervention, she would make peace with the primitive minds of Auntie's choice. This must be prevented, whatever the cost, or humanity's ascendance will be forestalled by centuries, if not millennia. Blood is spilled today. Yearly Correctional Inc. Onto a test of order aptitude. And blame when a student fails. Why, their instructor, of course. This must be prevented, whatever the cost, or is merely correctional ink stamped onto a test of order aptitude. And who do we blame when a student... The blood spilled today is merely correctional ink aptitude.
Someone help us!
The stalwart agent arrives. I need more time to finish my work, so I've prepared a choice for you. The hostages in the card press before you will die unless you intervene. If you go through the door on the right, you'll find the means to save them by solving a simple puzzle. Leave through the other door, however, and they will die, screaming in abject terror. But how could you call yourself an Earth Directorate agent if you allowed that to transpire?
I know a stall tactic when I see one. Calls on you, though, dear.
I prefer to kill my enemies first, innocent hostages later.
Entirely depends on your priorities. My former department would say keeping on mission is of paramount importance. But I no longer think I agree.
Praise high probability. Wiley trapped us here. He let some others go, but didn't even give us the chance to surrender.
He's lost his wits. Kept going on about his puzzle in the research wing upstairs. That must be where he hid the key to stop the press.
Hurry!
Why, their instructor, of course. Bishop Bassar has failed this order of its preliminary. And without an intervention, she would make peace with the primitive minds of Auntie's choice. This is whatever else. And he says he will stall by centuries. by centuries, if not millennia. Bishop Basar has failed this order as its preeminent luminary. And without our intervention, he would make peace with the within it claim that all things happen for a reason. But the wise among us know that nothing occurs without a catalyst. Today, claim that all things happen for a reason. And who do we blame when a student fails? Why, their instructor. You go through the door, through.
I know a stall tactic when I see one. Calls on you, though, dear.
Raise high probability. Wiley trapped us here. He let some others go, but didn't even give us the chance to surrender.
He's lost his wits. Kept going on about his puzzle in the research wing upstairs. That must be where he hid the key to stop the press.
Hurry!
This would be the scriptorium Anchoress, Brun, and Chow mentioned earlier. Should we fetch them their texts? Facilitate their malfunctional behavior further?
Normally, I'd suggest picking the lock on that safe, but it looks to be rigged to that ridiculous puzzle up above.
I have a growing suspicion the Seer's been overindulging in Aetherwave cereals.
Enemy spotted.
I'll handle this. Vitals are in the red, Command. Picture me.
Pounding. Grenade away! Followed by detonation! Re-engaging with the outlier!
know a stall tactic when I see one. Calls on you, though, dear.
I knew I did right signing on with you, Commander.
Of course, Commander.
Praise high probability. Wiley trapped us here. He let some others go, but didn't even give us the chance to surrender.
He's lost his way.
Where are you going? Don't leave us! Come back!
This would be the scriptorium Anchoress Brun and Chow mentioned earlier. Should we fetch them their texts? Facilitate their malfunctional behavior further?
The rifts add an element of exotic probability to my typical predictable polynomials.
At least it was a clean dissection. Roger would appreciate that, I think.
Normally, I'd suggest picking the lock on that safe, but it looks to be rigged to that ridiculous puzzle up above.
I have a growing suspicion the Seer's been overindulging in Aetherwave cereals.
Aggressor at hand.
Invading to attack.
Do try to limit further damage. I know a stall tactic when I see one. Calls on you, though, dear.
I prefer...
Entirely depends on your priorities. My former department would say keeping on mission is of paramount importance. But...
Definitely not. We should be the only ones killing hostages around.
Like the cut of your jib. Hard...
Praise high probability. Wiley trapped us here. He let some others go.
Normally I'd suggest picking the lock on that safe, but it looks to be rigged to that ridiculous puzzle up above.
Where he hid the key to stop the press.
I spy my next victim. I mean a hostile combatant.
Think it'll be fast with a punch card machine, you know.
Ratcheting up my aggression. Growing suspicion this fear's been overindulgent. I know a stall tactic when I see one. Calls on you, though, dear. Entirely depends on your priorities. Like the...
Praise high probability. Wiley trapped us here. He let some others go.
Let me guess. That safe won't open until we solve this puzzle.
This must be the so-called puzzle they expect us to waste our time on. Looks like it was constructed by a child.
Combat probable.
Adversary, no combatant on my scope. Multiplication in progress. Mitigating... Target and... I have a fix on them. Weaknesses. Attack. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Seems we've effectively begun their puzzle. Idiots. They obviously meant for this to waste our time. Let's just find a way to kill the hostages so we can move on.
See? Didn't I tell you our friend would be back?
Hurry! Disable the card press machine! Where are you going? Don't leave us! Come back!
Time will tell if that was a good idea.
Not that I was concerned, mind you.
Thank you, stranger. We should be okay here for now. Go pay Wiley his just dividends. For all of us.
This must be where they keep the pointless works on existence the anchorites are eager to waste their short lives debating.
What did I tell you? All according to the plan.
Yeah. Wiley's plan, which almost killed us.
At least it was a clean dissection. Padre would appreciate that, I think.
And whom do we blame when a student fails? The song. Stand onto a test of order aptitude.
Excellent timing. We're nearly finished reviewing the materials you brought us. Oh, well now, this is unexpected. The arguments in this text seem to have highlighted a teleological flaw I fear my own argument shares.
You too, huh?
Under certain conditions, de-escalation becomes impossible, leading to negative outcomes, including outright annihilation. An annihilated entity cannot advance the plan.
But maybe annihilation itself serves a purpose we're simply unaware of. You were right before. Participating in a war only produces an entropic feedback loop.
I see someone has been reading On the Origin of Sprats. It has that effect on people.
Mental carceration and the potential unreality of conscious experience adds an interesting dimension to the argument. It's certainly worth exploring.
Perhaps later. For now, I feel we should reward our guest with their choice of reward, given the idiosyncratic nature of his conclusion. Armor or weapon? Very well. You can...
Casualties are afoot. Back and scan. Stun weapon ready, Commander. I have a fix on their taking the fight out of them, locking them down. Check your scope.
Diminishing returns. The move's fucking quick. Refilling munitions.
Target analyzed.
Replenishing mechanism.
Back and scan. Fortificator at ready status. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Anticipating trouble. Do not trust anyone
Enemy
who doesn't
spotted.
show their
Honing in on
Resorting to violence.
Moving up to improve accuracy.
threat detected.
Ratcheting up my aggression. They're benumbed, locking them down. Recharge for mayhem!
More fortified position.
Combatant scan. Adversary. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
I'm alive. Who needs to die? Oh, look! A room. Dedicated to the insignificance of human existence inside a temple dedicated to mathematically proving its pointlessness.
So Clemens and Svoboda's killer arrives. So much of our plan ruined because of your meddling. Victor's explosives would have minimized casualties on both sides. You may have bested my peers, but they were never my equal anyway. And neither are you. You took so long, I was beginning to think my little puzzle actually stumped you. You seem confused. Allow me to delineate on the totality of your failure. Saving the hostages delayed you just long enough for me to complete my work. I was able to transmit not only the coordinates for the peace talks, but also the station security protocols. giving Augustine control over its automechanicals. She has everything. That's preposterous. In a transparent attempt at sowing discord between us. I haven't the time nor desire to enumerate the failings in your logic. Suffice to say, you misunderstand the basic fundamentals of my objectives. The Order has been dislocated from its ideals, becoming the opposite of all they espouse. DeVries and I are merely providing a necessary realignment.
All I hear is empty bluster from an amateur schemer whose only success so far is failing loudly at a sloppy plan. This slapdash takeover of yours is graceless and rushed and reeks of ineptitude and desperation. In my day, we did these things with considerable more efficiency and panache.
And who are you, exactly?
Marisol Delgado. Former head intercessor, Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection.
The endpoint. No. The improbability of you interrupting my plans at this singular moment beggars belief.
Our aims are so similar, I'd almost consider joining you. Had you not proven yourself such bumbling fools, dragging me into your mess. Consider how much uncertainty has been introduced into your equations. Can you have any confidence in your predictions at this point?
What in the Architect's computational summary are you on about? That hopeless, ineffectual, over-reliant waste of workspace? He wouldn't dare. But I am beyond reproach. My talent without peer. What has Joseph ever done for the Order except occupy my valuable time with useless queries? No, this is some kind of deception. It has to be. I could not have missed such obvious machinations. My math is correct. My math is always correct. How could I have failed to recognize such gaps in my predictions? I checked and triple-checked. What could I have done? Where did I err? Enough! Please. Your point has been sufficiently made, and I truly lack the capacity to debate you further. I've already sent Augustine everything she needs. But all our communications are on this terminal. It is yours to peruse. Though I cannot say whether the information will be useful. Obviously, my analytical acumen is not what I'd assumed. All I know is that I was never meant to stop you. Now I must send word to my allies here at the monastery to stand down and notify them of my resignation from the Order. Effective immediately. I have no more predictions to offer, now or ever.
I have grown worried. I have not received word from Archivist Clemens in some time, and I imagine you would have relayed any pertinent information by now. I fear this bodes ill. Without him, our only option is a direct assault. A risky proposition, to be sure. The last thing any of us want is for our plan to spiral out of control. And so it falls on you to seize back that control. Use the methods we discussed to take command of the monastery. When it is done, I will send further instruction. You have my trust. See that it is not misplaced. I'm much obliged for your tireless work. With this knowledge of Greater Tranquility Substation and its security codes, our plans for the peace talks can finally be spurred into motion. However, without Archivist Clemens and his explosives at our disposal, we've no choice but to proceed with our contingency plan. A direct assault, though the codes will, yet we must act unflinchingly. I'm much obliged, however, though yet we must...
Yeah!
We should get ourselves to those peace talks post-haste, Commander. Wouldn't want to miss out on any of the mayhem and carnage.
What a fool I was to believe I mattered in the plan's grand scheme.
Agent, over here. I assume you had a chance to speak with Landon, that is, Seer Wiley. I'm greatly relieved to hear it. Did he mention me at all? I'm saddened he felt that way. I also can't argue he's wrong. I'm sure you also think me to blame for all of this. But you have to understand my position. How ill-equipped all in the Order are for this new world. With the schism and now the war, The Order stands alone for the first time in its storied history. We have no experience with governance. Well, myself especially.
What's more, you can rise to the occasion. You're the senior, highest-ranking scientist here. Don't get lost in the math. Lead.
You've given me much to think about, and the opportunity to do so. I'm grateful. I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for your assistance in reclaiming the monastery, regrettable as the business was. I had intended to offer you access to one of our experimental weapons, but it seems you already helped yourself to it. You always do seem a step ahead of me. May all your future endeavors proceed in accordance to the plan.
I don't know what you're complaining of. We emerged totally unscathed.
I'd estimate I'm 43.11% scathed.
Then increment your bravery index. My goodness, you novices in your theatrics.
Operating on civilians is not so different from cutting into a primal.
Every scientist yearns to... to visit the archive on Callisto. One day, it will process
I'm not with
all
Auntie anymore.
equations.
We all have...
You've returned. Is there a reason you're looking to monopolize my invaluable time? Well, I suppose it can't reflect badly on me to simply report the facts. And you have already made me look better in the eyes of the executives. All right, I'll send it. What else do you have for me? Wonderful. I do love a subordinate that can honor their obligations and make me look good. What else do you have for me? Wonderful. I do love a subordinate that can honor their obligations and make me look good. And if that concludes our business for the moment, I kindly ask you to vacate my outpost. I have much to do.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Wish.
The Grand Plan is the predetermined order to the entire universe. We can predict it down to a decimal.
Ah, my agent friend. I just had word from one of Auntie's choicest commanders that you have been of some assistance to them. Through your efforts, we may yet see peace. You've lessened the load on my mind considerably, and you have the Order's gratitude.
Best we start discussing strategy, Commander.
The information collected on the peace talks has been verified, Commander. As time is a factor, this unit suggests heading to Greater Tranquility Station as soon as you are able.
I can only hope we encounter fewer complications than we did at the monastery.
Bullet could solve a lot of problems, provided we can reach DeVries before she enacts her plan to kill the delegates.
Exactly. It ain't just about the delegates. It's the civvies who always pay the greatest price.
Records indicate Greater Tranquility is a derelict station. Consequently, the ideal route to reach the main chamber for the peace talks will be through its underbelly. Be advised, in the absence of Victor, status deceased, and his explosives, Agent DeVries and her team will be committed to a frontal assault. Due to delays incurred while saving the Order hostages, DeVries also has the codes to control the station's security automechanicals, and will assuredly deploy them against you, Commander. Additionally, per the Earth Directorate Manual, when lacking equivalent combat forces, determination and vast amounts of ammunition may make up the difference.
You know where I stand. This war's taken too many good folk from us. I'll be damned if I let DeVries add to that number.
I'm coming with you. Who better to make DeVries pay for Horizon Point than a pair of her own Phantoms? Good. Would have been a shame if DeVries was the reason for us falling out, too.
Confirming coordinates for Greater Tranquility Station. Confirmed. Use the astrogator when you are ready to navigate to the station, Commander.
That damn Wiley put us in an impossible situation. I'm glad those hostages can go back to their families, but I fear we played right into DeVries' hands. With that data, she could wreak more havoc than we anticipated. Look, I know the choice is yours on how you want to approach this, but it's my folk in the crosshairs. If something happens to our delegate, I don't know how I'd live with myself. If there's space by your side, I hope you'll call on me. Sure, let's go with that. If we fail to stop DeVries, this will have dire consequences for the war and everything else. So let's not fail, huh?
This ship is certainly quaint. The grease stains and thrice retrofitted pipes give one the thrilling impression that the ship might burst into flames at any moment. I suppose there's something charming about its lived-in nature. Nevertheless, I have availed myself of the ship's cleaning supplies. Unsightliness is an enemy as sure as any other.
we standing around jawing for? There's mayhem and murdering to be done.
Who exactly? Miles? He's fun to torment. I mean, he's equal parts enthusiastic and naive, even with all he's gone through. I find her amusing. In a best not to torment her or she'll kill us all kind of way, which I completely respect.
Of course I do. What's not to like? To envy? Her style, her lethality.
Oh, she's a professional for architect's sake. I wish I'd known about her department when I was growing up. Even as a child, I know they'd have seen my potential. Tristan's a standard issue arbiter, albeit with an extra slathering of arrogance, especially when it comes to ensuring the Protectorate's inane laws are followed without question. But as long as that ridiculously large hammer of his isn't pointed in my direction, I could watch him administer justice all day. Though he'd be loath to admit it, his propensity for violence almost matches my own. Not only does she possess more heart than your standard corporatist flunky, she's a great deal smarter as well. Don't tell her I said so. She's fortunate she ran into you. Otherwise, I've no question she'd have died from her graft, still cluelessly devoted to Aunties despite her intelligence. Such as?
We did good by all the folk in Golden Ridge. If we hadn't eased the pressure between the Order and the troops at Outpost Opportunity, the kettle would have blown its top eventually. Instead, the ceasefire can remain in place, and folk can sleep soundly. Thank you. I know we couldn't do much to avoid it, but I wish we didn't have to kill Victor. He seemed a gentle sort. Reckon that's what happens when you fall in with the... Fine by me. How personal are we talking? Oh, come on. It's just a hobby. An obvious one at that. I picked up drawing from the grandpa in the domicile next door back in Tau Ceti. When I was a kid, he told me the best way to appreciate nature was to create some of your own and carry it with you. The notion's taken on a bit of a different meaning now with Auntie, but I reckon that Grandpa has the right of it. Yep, that's him. Hoping I've done him proud. Want to know a secret? So do I. Don't get me wrong, they've done a lot of good. Modern medicine sure beats slathering plant matter on your wound. But there's something to be said for partnering with nature, not fighting for dominion over it. On the off chance you're being serious, afraid not. Never quite got the hang of drawing human appendages. Well, they ain't exactly equipped for negotiations, and I ain't gonna become a bloody pulp if they're aiming to pick a fight. But they are fascinating. I'd watch them all day if their hunting instincts weren't so sharp. They like to play, did you know that? Of course, they play with the corpses of their prey, but it's play nonetheless. Trying real hard. We got enough to worry about as it is, and adding this much chaos to our little crew can't end well. You sure we ought to be helping her? I'll try to keep an open mind, Command. Anyway, appreciate you hearing me out. How personal are we talking? If this new graft fails, you mean? Then You didn't see me when I first got out of surgery and came to Paradise Island. But suppose if her treatment doesn't stick, then maybe it's my time to go. You can only cheat death so many times. You know that as well as I do. I owe Doc more than I could say. She reminds me of the folk I had back home in Tauset. I'd rather not dwell on those moments, if it's all the same to you. What matters is the here. Fine by me?
The hostages went home safe. But they all...
Glad you stopped by. I had something I wanted to ask you. Now that we're out of pulping distance, are you sure about recruiting that Arbiter? That hammer's a fine piece of weaponry, sure enough. But how much can we trust the hand wielding it? I'm flattered. But if there's any match to be made for a Directorate agent, you've just brought him onto our ship. Armed. Arbiters ain't like us. Facts matter less to them than personal judgments. Once the boulder's going, someone's getting crushed. I've seen it happen more than once. Yeah, right up until he decides we need a little judging too. I'm guessing you didn't come here to talk about Rao, though. So what's on your mind? Oh yeah? What's needling you? Shit. Knew I was forgetting something. Of course you did. I had some trouble adjusting in the years after Horizon Point. I was in pain more times than I wasn't. Had trouble sleeping. The drinks helped. Until they didn't. Those bottles ain't half full, are they? I appreciate the concern, Commander, really, but there's no problem. You have my word. Besides, I found other ways to cope. Healthier ones. I'm not sure anyone would consider that. When I'm not out there heroically saving the colony, I like to tinker around the ship or work on Val. I exercise. Been considering taking up cross-stitch. What do you think? Just remember you said that the next time I'm puttering around at odd hours making a racket. Was there anything else you needed, Commander? Always up for a little back fence talk, though I'm guessing you don't mean Val. Can't say I know her well. It's been a treat watching her break free from her corporate overlords. Auntie's choices never had her back, or her best interests at heart. Well, he hasn't brought the hammer down upon us yet, so I suppose that's something. I still wouldn't play the odds on him choosing us over the Protectorate if it came right down to it, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong there. Underneath that friendly old lady facade, Marisol's a killer. Best we not forget that. Future's always changing, though. Who knows? Maybe Marisol will surprise us. In a good way, I mean. Not in a surprise attack kind of way. I hope. I think she'd have a hell of a time passing the Directorate psychological screening. Don't much care for all her talk about disembowelment, neither. Truth be told, I don't know her all that well. Reckon she's unmoored and grabbing for anything that feels like purpose. Same as the rest of us. At least that's what I would say if I was feeling charitable. Most days, I'd send her out the airlock if it came to a vote. Sure thing. I trust you've got particulars in mind?
look at that rift. It's making my skin buzz even in here. Look, another ship. Doesn't exactly scream official delegation transport to me.
Good evening. On behalf of everyone in Auntie's family, I want to thank our hosts for securing this wonderfully austere venue to begin our negotiations for peace. With tensions being patched in Golden Ridge, I am certain we can both profit from a merger. But surely the good Vicar Laureate and his fellow shareholders have some thoughts?
Madam Vice President, I and my fellow counselors remind you that this is no merger, but an alliance. By ending the war, we may focus on the true threat to our society, the rifts.
Locked. Why can't our work ever be easy?
Be still, Cadre. But don't let this interloper out of your sight. It's you, is it not? The one Agent DeVries warned me to expect? Well, see here. If you intend to stop me, you're far too late. Preposterous. Our mission to stop the talks is a righteous one.
We need answers, now. How we extract those answers, I'll leave up to you, Commander.
You'll do no such thing. And even if by some low chance you could extract my knowledge, you'll never truly understand. If our deaths buy Agent DeVries and our comrades the time they need, so be it. That matters not. He lost his grit and turned traitor. But I am steadfast in my resolve. You hear me? Steadfast. I was warned you might try to lure me in with niceties, but it doesn't matter what you do. The rest of our team is pushing forward. Agent DeVries is right. The only way to save us from destruction is to save the Order from itself. But why would you leave me be? This situation is markedly different. Those at the monastery were not standing in your path. How can you say that without no... Fine then. I surrender. See this screen? Agent DeVries' orders for each of her strike teams are here for the taking. One team is in the next chamber, in fact. They're using the Seer's codes to gain control of the automechs and secure the station. All while Agent DeVries makes for the forum chamber to eliminate the delegates. You'll also need this. Her guards have commandeered some frightful reinforcements, and you'd do well to find the control hub to disable them before you're spotted. That's my end of the agreement upheld. If you truly intend to stop her, best be on your way now. May the numbers guide you.
Gave up that intel rather easily, didn't they? Let's have a look.
This must be the satellite that sent an emergency ping across the system. What led me to you, Commander? But why is DeVries hanging on to it?
This sort of satellite is new to me. Is it Earth tech? How did it get out here?
Well, aren't you the eccentric sort?